Welcome to the Risk Forever channel guys, the channel which shares the most relevant tips and tricks on how to win at Risk, and improve your rank in no time. Subscribe to the channel and you won't even see how fast you will become so much better at Risk. Push that notification bell to see new videos first. This is your host Champion Ever. And today we are playing 4-player fixed card game on classic Risk map. Settings, alliances on, balance splits dice rolls in 60 seconds per turn. This time I'm playing even against 4 Grandmaster rank players, blue, yellow and purple. This is the game with my subscribers. But wow guys, 4 Grandmaster 4-player fixed card game. I'm wondering how will it go. It's definitely gonna be a tough battle. So as always, wish me best of luck guys. This is the match when I need it the most. May the luck will be with me today. So as you can see, I was the first player to capture a continent, but the purple player quickly followed and captured a continent as well. And the same exact thing has happened with the blue player. And now the yellow player is about to capture a continent as well, meaning that nobody of us will be able to get a significant advantage against others, and that's probably good. Well, I wish I was the only person to get a continent so quickly, but oh well. Alright, phew, it was very scary of the blue player. I thought he will target either purple or me, but he just captured 2 territories, so I'm very happy that Africa stayed safe. So anyways, what is my plan guys? My plan is to go after yellow. First of all, he is the only person I'm not allied with. Secondly, he is the only person who hasn't gotten a continent yet, the weakest one. So I will potentially try to push him from North America and capture it by myself. I might even take the yellow player out eventually, if I see it's beneficial for me. All in all, my biggest goal is to become the dominating player, the player who gets the most troops per turn. I cannot really attack either blue or purple as of now, so to go after yellow player is my only option. Or maybe not. I think I will just accept his alliance. Yeah. As if I decide to keep attacking yellow and crushing his troops, then it will give advantage for the blue player. And I mean, my goal to capture North America probably would go wrong anyways, as the blue player would probably move his Icelandic army to the Greenland territory in North America and prevent me of capturing it. So in the end my advantage will not be increased at all, and I would just be having the yellow player as an enemy, which could have already invaded Africa if he wanted to. But yeah, anyways, I decided to change my plan, which probably will turn out to be even better. My plan is to eliminate the purple player. I'm going to show you guys how to beat the Australian turtle strategy. The strategy I'm going to show you perfectly works when one player has Australia, and you and 2 others get the same number of troops, when one of you 3 has Europe, another one North America, and the last one South America plus Africa. Meaning that soon enough all of you will outgrow the Australian turtle player, so one of you will be able to take him out from the game and become the Australian turtle by yourself, while 2 others will still be perfectly balancing each other, one of them having North America and another one Europe. Usually the North American player expands and captures South America, and the European player, Africa. But then that happens, you don't really need to worry that South America and Africa was taken from you, as it wasn't your goal to successfully hold 3 continents. Your goal was to eliminate the 4th, additional player who wasn't really needed in the game, and not a simple one, the one who was using the Australian turtle strategy, the strategy which a lot of people cannot find the way to beat, and hate when someone uses it. So yeah guys, after you eliminate the Australian turtle player, everything is very simple. You just become the Australian player by yourself and be very passive. As obviously you couldn't be very aggressive, as it will weaken you a lot after taking the Australian player out, and secondly the 2 other players will be balancing each other, so it would be very stupid to pick on one and let another one grow strong. These 2 remaining players will take care of each other. At first North American player will take South America from you, and European player will take Africa from you. Then these 2 players, if they had an alliance with each other, then they will just probably won't attack each other for some turns, but eventually they will have no other choice but to start attacking each other. One of them will finally decide to invade another one, So that invaded player will get mad and decide to invade the invader as well, and that player will get mad as well. The conflict between them will grow even stronger and stronger, and more of their troops will be crushed, and as soon as you notice that you have around the same number of troops as both of them combined, you will be able to eliminate them in a single turn. So yeah guys, now you fully know my strategy I have in mind, so now it's just a matter of waiting. I want that after eliminating the purple Australian turtle, I wouldn't like that I would be so weak that I would be more or less worth to be eliminated for the cards. I wouldn't like that one of the remaining player would afford to eliminate me, and then block another player somehow to regain the troops that he lost and be equal with him in the endgame. So even though I have enough troops to eliminate the purple player now, I think I will rather be totally safe and take some more time. But yeah, the purple player will be dead no matter how many more turns I decide to take. Or unless if the yellow and blue players start fighting each other, drastically crushing themselves, then I wouldn't take the purple player out and just continue growing strong. But I doubt that will happen. Also another possibility that instead of me, the blue or yellow player decide to take the purple player out. But I doubt that will happen as well. Usually high-ranked players just like turtle as much as they can, and aren't very willing to make some attacks. But I mean it probably would not be very wise for either me, yellow or blue to start a conflict with each other, when obviously the purple player is on the radar of being eliminated first by being the weakest. So nobody of us would like to become the weakest player while purple is alive. So yeah, I think we will just have to wait till I decide that I finally have enough troops to eliminate the purple player and be completely safe. I doubt the yellow player has in mind of taking the purple player out as he split his troops into multiple different armies, and doubt about blue as well, as it seems he is busy by capturing multiple territories per turn. He probably tries to increase his troops' advantage by having more territories, but each turn his territories are being recaptured by us all, so that plan isn't working for him at all. But for the yellow player it is. The yellow player captured some more Asian territories and blocked them with his armies, so nobody would be able to recapture them if they don't want to waste their troops. So the yellow player has a very tiny advantage as of now, which probably doesn't mean anything at all at this point of the game. The yellow player gets 10 troops per turn, while I and blue 8 troops each, so the yellow player just getting 2 more troops and that's it. Well, if the yellow player got 2 more troops than all of the players combined, then it would be issue. But when the yellow player only gets 2 troops more than the second strongest player, it's no issue at all. Anyways, I think it's the time for me to take the purple player out. I could probably go through blue's Europe, but first of all I don't want to unleash his biggest army, and second of all I don't want to make him mad potentially. So that's why I decided to fortify my biggest army to the Middle East territory. I noticed that the purple player tends to hold his cards till 5, so I may even take him out with 5 cards, but in case he trades in a set, then I will just wait till he has 4 cards again. But in one case or another, he will be dead, or unless something magical would happen, but I doubt. Also I have to take the purple player no matter what. If nobody takes him out, then the game won't be out of the stalemate situation. So someone by his or against his will, has to take the purple player out. So I will be a good Samaritan and take the purple player out by myself. Sorry not sorry purple, but the game must continue. So yeah guys, the Australian turtle strategy has been beaten. Actually, as you saw having Australia and playing against high-ranked players in 4-player game, when other players have North America, Europe, South America and Africa, gives you a huge disadvantage if you simply turtle. If these players don't fight each other, then the Australian player will be the most vulnerable target and might get eliminated first like in this game. Well, what purple player could have done differently, some of you might ask. Is he just a victim of the circumstances? Well, kinda yes, and kinda not. First idea what comes to the mind, is that the purple player could expand. Unfortunately I was going for South America so he didn't get the chance here, and obviously nobody would have let him go for Asia, especially when all of the players got a continent each quickly. So expanding for the purple player wasn't really the choice. So what could have he done then? Well, he could have targeted and attacked one of us. So he wouldn't have been the weakest player who gets eliminated first. Differently, he would have made another player to be weakest, and then that player most likely would have gotten eliminated instead of him. So that sounded like a good plan. He didn't really had another choice. Well, I understand that sometimes by alone yourself it can be hard to fight with someone, so he could have looked for the opportunities to team up with someone. For example, in the beginning of the game he made an alliance with me, and I was targeting and focusing on the yellow player. I didn't want yellow to capture North America. So what the purple player could have done? He could have helped me to attack the yellow player as well, so eventually the yellow player would have gotten eliminated first, by being the weakest, so much weaker than anybody else. But since the purple player was very passive the whole time and was just turtling on Australia, naturally he became the target to get eliminated first by being the weakest, while all other players were turtling as well, getting much more troops than him. Well, if you play with dumb players or just low-rank players in overall, then it could be the best strategy ever to just turtle in Australia and do nothing at all, as low-rank players tend to get in the conflict with each other quite easily, and sometimes they don't even realize, while they were crushing each other, they let the Australian player become very strong. So the Australian turtle strategy usually works really well against low-rank players. But if you play with fellow, smart players on Discord, who you know are not dumb kamikazes to suicide, then I think it isn't your best bet to turtle from the beginning of the game while getting the lowest amount of troops. As if you know that you will be the weakest, then keep in mind that most likely you will be eliminated first. So you have to think of ways on how to prevent that of happening. So anyways, after eliminating the purple player, I was not only happy to become the Australian player by myself, but still I've got to hold two continents I had previously as well, South America and Africa. The blue player at first invaded Africa, but since the yellow player didn't invade South America, the blue player didn't re-invade Africa once again. Well, I couldn't be more happy and satisfied about that. If these players are so passive extreme turtles, then it's even better for me, as it not only lets me to regain the troops I lost taking the purple player out, but soon enough I will become the strongest player. Unfortunately I won't have as many troops as both of them combined, but certainly I can become much stronger. So the game would be able to become much more dependent on me, and it's always good. When you're the weakest, then you almost always have to rely on others, but when you're the strongest, then it's more up to you to dictate the game. The more stronger you are than anybody else, the easier for you to come up with different options and go with the best possible decisions. And OMG guys! We finally see some action going on. The yellow player blocked the blue player of capturing territories, so the blue player decided to invade the yellow player into North America. Well, the yellow player recaptured North America, but the blue player doesn't have a territory to attack once again. So I'm really wondering what the blue player is going to do. Lol, that is so funny to watch. He invaded the yellow player into North America again, lol. But this time the blue player even fortified his whole army into it. Some bad things are about to happen to yellow. Well, I doubt the blue player will suicide, but I'm just really wondering to see what will happen. In case they both start targeting and focusing on each other, then I'm really going to get a huge advantage over here. Wow, the blue player got so much aggressive. So many armies were drastically crushed, including mine. But yeah, the game is balanced, so everything is good. I along with the yellow player are pretty equal, and the blue player like 200 troops behind. But the game is obviously balanced, so on the one hand I'm happy that the game won't be such a stalemate anymore when nobody does anything, but on the other hand I won't be able to get that much troops anymore as before, so I won't get as strong as I was supposed to be. But sooner or later it had to happen. I don't know why these players were letting me hold the 3 continents for so long. But yeah, it seems blue and yellow won't fight each other anymore. The yellow player will probably be satisfied with Europe, and the blue player will probably try to go for both of the Americas. Well, I don't want to be in a stalemate situation for another 2 hours anymore, so I will try to do some things to prevent of that happening. I will make them split their troops. It's so easy to turtle putting your troops to one huge army when nobody attacks you at all, and when you know that you won't lose any troops at all, even if someone invades you. So if these players don't properly guard everything, then I'm going to invade them. I have to make each of us to attack each other. There's no really a big purpose just to turtle force and wait for another few hours till we get armies of thousands of troops. The game wouldn't be any different then. Sooner or later we would still have to attack each other. The only difference would only be in the size of armies. So it's better if we get some action going on right away, rather than waiting for multiple turns and attacking each other only then. So I have to make us to attack each other. I won't let them be so passive. There's no reason to agree on a draw when only 3 players are left in fixed card game. In 3-player fixed card game is only a draw and a stalemate situation when players refuse to attack each other and just simply turtle. If players in a 3-player fixed card game are actually attacking each other, then one of them sooner or later will make a mistake towards the balance of the game and then someone wins. But if all players are just turtling, then it becomes very boring, purposeless game. So by making these attacks, I think I've already achieved a little bit. The blue player now attacks the yellow player as well, and the yellow player doesn't put all of his troops to one big army anymore. He is forced to split his troops if he wants to hold something. So let's attack the yellow player once again. These 11 troops on Ukraine are not enough to prevent me of attacking. We both are equally strong, so I don't want that the yellow player would eventually become stronger than me. I have to do anything to not let the yellow become stronger than me. The blue player is already 200 troops behind, so more or less I can leave him alone, but the yellow player is what I care. I have to find the way on how to start getting more troops than him, so I would become the strongest of us all. And lol, the yellow player made the way to attack him once again. Sure thing, I'm going to target his 14 troops border. And actually I think that's enough of Australian turtle strategy. Obviously the yellow player is going to make all of his borders stronger and stronger, so I won't be able to invade him into Europe anymore if I don't want to lose a lot of troops. So that's enough of aggressive Australian turtle strategy anymore. At the same time, that's enough of having Australia as well. Yellow seems to be very passive, so he can have Australia by himself and turtle in it if he wants. I will rather get a bigger continent and try to expand, getting more troops than the yellow player. And obviously I won't go for Europe, it's too hard to hold. I was drastically invading yellow into it, so if I capture it, sure thing the yellow player is going to keep invading me as well. So I will rather go with the choice of having North America. I specially left my army on the Iceland territory, so the yellow player would be afraid that I'm going to crush his army. So he would move out of the Greenland territory, most likely moving his army to Australia. So I would be able to capture North America without losing a lot of troops at all. And since the blue player didn't move any troops to North America as well, I'm going to capture it very easily. Let's do it, guys. With me having North America, which gives 5 troops, and with the yellow player having Australia, which only gives 2 troops, I'm going to become stronger than yellow, that's no doubt. I might let the blue player hold Africa or might not, but no matter my decision I will still be stronger than blue even if we are going to get the same amount of troops, as I'm already like 150 troops ahead of him. So that doesn't that much matter as of now. My biggest goal is to make the yellow player to be weaker than me as well. And that the yellow player wouldn't capture Asia. As you can see, I put one of my armies to Kamchatka territory instead of Alaska. But even if the yellow player puts his army next to it, then I will just simply fortify some more troops from my biggest army to strengthen my Kamchatkan army. So far I really like that the yellow player does all the dirty work for me by invading blue into Africa, so now not only yellow doesn't get the same number of troops as me, but the blue player as well. I kinda don't want to irritate blue. He has one big army and could potentially decide to invade one of my borders, so I will rather prefer if his army will stay blocked. Alright, so now they're even letting me hold Europe too, lol. Some bad things are about to happen to them if that stay this way. Wow, come on yellow, come on pal, How dare you to ruin my tremendous advantage? I thought y'all let me hold these two big continents and let me grow strong. Well, if I cannot hold Europe, then I think I'm gonna start invading Africa, so the blue player doesn't get the same amount of troops as me. I want to be the person who gets the most of troops. Well, the blue player just fortified his army in Africa, so I think I will invade South America, leaving my army there without capturing it, and I will stop invading him to Africa, so the dirty job might be done by the yellow player once again. Hopefully. That was quite risky to invade blue into South America though, as he might decide to put his army back into it, and then I might not be able to hold North America anymore in case he invades it. Yeah, that's what I thought, but oh well. Looking for the bright side, I wasn't invaded through Kamchatka, losing tons of troops. But yeah, it was probably diplomatic mistake for me to invade blue after he moved out of South America, so now I cannot hold North America anymore, unfortunately. So I will just go with having Africa right now without even guarding it. It only gives 3 troops, so whatever, so if I won't be able to hold it, then that doesn't matter. I doubt I could expand to Europe and properly guard both of the continents. Yeah, absolutely I wouldn't be able to, when these both players are leaving their biggest armies next to me. So since the yellow player moved his army out of Australia, I think that's enough for him to stay Australian turtle. We should let him to make some bigger actions as well. I assume the players are not very happy with my recent attacks, so I think I will just turtle for a while and stay neutral. I will let them deal with themselves alone for a little bit. Well, actually I cannot let have so many territories, he captured so many, way too many of them, so let's retake some. And actually I will unblock my biggest army as well, no reason to keep it blocked. Anyways, let's see what the yellow player is up to. It seems he is going for North America. No, come on, leave your biggest army next to blue, don't just turtle in North America leaving your army blocked. Well, let's see if the blue player invades yellow. Well, he didn't. Currently it seems my opponents are mostly care about me, and not so much about each other. So if they don't attack each other, then I will be in disadvantage just having Australia. So since the blue player is leaving his biggest army in South America in the territory of Brazil, I think I have a good shot of capturing and holding North America once again. Yeah, let's do it guys. Let's capture North America. I will rather have it than Australia. Since the yellow player's army is unblocked, obviously I'm gonna leave majority of troops on my Greenland border, so he wouldn't crush any of my troops. And obviously, 2 other borders are inaccessible for yellow currently, so that's why I don't care much about them as of now while the blue player's army is blocked. Well, the yellow player just unleashed blue's army, so let's see what the blue player is going to do. Phew, he just blocked his army once again, and it is actually good. Let's just capture Europe for no reason, just to see if players will let me hold it. So for that reason I'm not attacking blue this turn, but that's very likely that I will get invaded by yellow. And yeah, I've just got invaded. Additionally, the yellow player just split his biggest army and probably is looking forward to do something with it. Well, since I cannot hold Europe, since I clearly see that players won't let me hold it, I have no other choice but to invade blue into Africa as well. There's no big benefit for me to let him hold it at all, and he doesn't even guard it anyways. Ha, sneaky, very sneaky player called blue. He just captured the territory of Kamchatka, so the yellow player would get an idea to invade me from it. So my goal is to bring yellow's attention to somewhere else. So this is why I've just captured Europe and Africa, so the yellow player would possibly invade both of these continents while leaving North America untouched. Alright, now I see what was the reason behind the yellow player fortifying a big amount of troops out from Australia. It seems he is preparing to capture Asia. Not sure yet, but most likely. Well, his army in the Middle East is very weak, so even if he captures Asia and put his Australian army in Kamchatka, then I will still be able to invade through the Middle East without losing a ton of troops. Yeah, that's what the yellow player is going to do. Phew, he actually didn't even fortify his Australian army next to me, thank God. he changed his mind in the last second. So now, by clearly seeing that the yellow player is looking forward to capture Asia, I must prevent it, and instead of keeping my army in Alaska territory, I must move it to Kamchatka, so the yellow player won't be able to capture Asia, meaning that no longer I will have to crush one of his armies, so there will be no troop waste. But wow, when finally everything seemed to be in my favor, when I finally dealt with the yellow player, the blue player decided to focus on me. So yeah, if he doesn't want to have South America anymore, then I will take it, and the blue player potentially won't have any continent anymore. Well, actually we will see how it goes, guys. The game is about to change for a little bit once again. Alright, the blue player is capturing as many territories as possible as usually. Can you see that intensive supersonic speed? It seems he wants to block me, lol. Well, it isn't going to work out. And even though my biggest army is blocked, I can still invade North America with another one. Obviously leaving that army in Asia, so the yellow player wouldn't capture and then put his Australian army there. Well, the yellow player still has the plan go for Asia anyways. So since he left Australia unguarded, and since these players don't attack each other at all, and only seem to be focused on me, I have to change my plans and become the Australian turtle once again. So yeah, no more Asia for the yellow player. He will have to relocate himself and potentially attack the blue player into continents as well. Good thing he finally properly guard all of his borders and doesn't put all of his troops to one big army anymore, meaning that he might get some of his armies crushed as well. The more armies you have, the more likely more of your troops might get crushed. So anyways, we will see how it goes, whether the yellow player will be actually able to hold North America. Probably he won't, as the blue player threatens him with his biggest army. So I'm really wondering whether the blue player will actually crush yellow's Central American army. Yes guys. That's what I like to see it. My opponents drastically attacking and crushing each other and getting mad. Finally the Australian turtle strategy in this game might work out. Well, probably not, as the blue player put his biggest army in Brazil and probably be passive once again. So while the blue player's army is blocked and while the players are mad on each other at least for quite a bit, I think it's finally the time for my master plan. Asian strategy, here I come. Ha! What about now? Everybody is a gangster until champion ever captures Asia and properly guards all of its borders. No, come on yellow. Don't you dare. Don't you dare to fortify more troops next to my border. All I want to be is friends. I'm not planning to attack, well at least as of now, I would like become quite much stronger. So how about if you guard against me in the same way you guard against blue? Or just don't crush one of my biggest armies and we will be fine. Well, it had to happen. Eventually either the yellow player attacking one of the armies of mine, or me attacking one of the armies of yellow. So yeah, the Asia plan didn't work out. Whatever. What is good is that now each of us have pretty much the same number of troops. Well, more or less. The perfect balance of the game. None of us have more influence than another. We're equally strong, so now all of us are more free to do the attacks, not the weakest player kinda being aside. So finally after so many of turns of waiting, the blue player has as much influence as I and yellow player do. And as you can see my plan has worked out, the plan of taking Africa from blue. I specially took it from him, so he wouldn't get the same number of troops as yellow anymore, meaning that if he doesn't want the yellow player to get advantage, he had to invade North America. Since the only person who could invade yellow was him, since the yellow player was properly guarding against me while leaving no troops on blue's border. But yeah guys, I'm not sure what is my next plan, what should I do? I cannot really expand, so I'm just capturing one territory per turn and keeping my biggest army unblocked, in case if I need to attack someone or if I get an opportunity to expand somehow. Wow, the blue player has drastically expanded that much, so since he left his South America unguarded, I will take it from him. I will be using blue's strategy against him, of fortifying and leaving my army in the territory of Brazil, and just simply turtling there. Alright, since the blue player invaded me into Africa and refuses to let me get the same number of troops as him, I invaded him into North America as well. Hopefully that will make him guard his borders quite better than that. I don't really like the fact that he is leaving his biggest army next to me. I don't like the fact that his army is totally cut out from yellow. And no, come on yellow, come on dude. I'm not letting you hold Asia, that's too much. Sooner or later someone will have to invade you, and since the blue player just keeps leaving his biggest army next to me all the time, I think I will just straightly invade the yellow player by myself. I doubt the blue player would decide to invade him, so I will rather invade yellow as sooner as I can without wasting too many of troops. Well, I didn't expect the blue player taking South America from me. Well, he was leaving his army next to me, so I should have seen that coming, I guess. But yeah, since the blue player has both of the Americas, he is balancing yellow. So no reason for me to attack the yellow player anymore. Neither yellow nor blue. The players can perfectly deal with themselves alone right now. I will just stay in Africa for a while. Meanwhile the conflict will be going on between them. Hopefully. Alright, so the blue player says to attack yellow. Well, let's see how serious he is. We might even become good allies. Well, it's obviously not the very best way to approach someone by sending a person to attack someone and then attacking that person immediately by yourself. So not sure what the blue player's attack request was for. After invading yellow he straightly invaded me as well. But guess what blue, I will still stay kinda neutral no matter that. The yellow player is quite stronger than me, so better he takes some action rather than me. And actually I'm not sure why the yellow player left his biggest army next to me. That's kinda interesting. But okay, he invaded the blue player into North America and that's really good. I don't care too much about Africa, it only gives 3 troops. And since I don't properly guard it, I only lost 1 troop after it was invaded by yellow. So yeah, I wish I could move somewhere else. As first of all I see I cannot expand here, and second of all the blue player's army on Brazil really threatens me, so even if the yellow player moved his army out of Europe to Australia, I still couldn't comfortably capture Europe as well while having Africa, as obviously I would get invaded by blue. So I think it's the perfect time for me to relocate myself. In order to capture North America I only need to crush the army of 18 troops and that's basically it, so I can totally afford it. If the blue player wanted to hold North America, then he definitely needed to guard way better than that. So since he kept all of his troops on Brazil, I was able to take North America from him without any struggle and basically no troop loss at all. But okay. It seems the blue player threatens to invade North America. He really enjoyed holding both of the Americas and gaining lots of troops, so he doesn't really like the fact that I took North America from him. But yeah, since he threatens me, I had to invade him into both of his continents. I specially fortified some more troops to my Central American army, as I want to show blue that I'm certainly not leaving it. North America is my best opportunity. I cannot go anywhere else where I would be getting the same benefit. So I'm not leaving it. Yeah, I think the blue player is just bluffing. It must be very obvious for him that if he attacks one of my armies, then very likely the balance of the game will be broken. And I doubt he would attack me, when the yellow player is quite stronger than us. Anyways, I didn't invade him into South America, so he wouldn't get mad and act out of emotions. Yeah. The blue player's joke is not fun. He has just broken the balance of the game. 149 troops plus 169 troops equals to 318, and the yellow player has 307, or only 11 troops less than both of us combined. So now the yellow player can totally take both of us out in a single turn. By crushing our armies he would get a tremendous advantage, as let's remember the game is not only being played with balanced blitz, but also the thing goes about big armies. And as you probably know the attackers have a huge advantage when it comes to blitzing big armies. So yeah, I'm not sure what the yellow player is waiting for. Maybe he just doesn't realize that the balance of the game was broken. If so, then the game might continue. As you can see, I especially didn't combine my two armies into one, as I don't want that it would become so obvious for the yellow player that our armies are as big as his. So I think splitting my armies it makes for the yellow player to realize it harder, but who knows. But anyways, the second reason why I split my armies and left one of the in Central America, is because I wish that the blue player would move out to Europe and let me capture North America once again. Alright, so I see the blue player is willing to team up and work together with me again. So I will be doing my part as well. It would be just stupid to let yellow hold Africa anyways, when he doesn't guard it at all. So yeah guys, since the yellow player doesn't realize that he can just simply take both of us out in a single turn, I think by working together we might be able to restore the balance of the game. Well, not anymore. Good game. The yellow player is finally taking us out. Well, at least that I can be happy about, is that he is not using his armies efficiently. If he hadn't blocked his Australian army and used it as well, then he would have taken both of us out in a single turn. But since he didn't use his Australian army, it gives me a slight chance to do something. But not really, as the yellow player have quite more troops anyways, and obviously both of my armies were blocked. That was a very huge mistake for me to leave them blocked when I saw that the yellow player can decide to take us out in any upcoming minute. Yeah, the yellow player has just blitzed my army as I thought he would do. Well, good game you all. It was fun. Thank you very much to all of the Grandmasters for playing, and huge congrats for the yellow player for winning this one very tough competition. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, then I would recommend checking some of these out as well. Watching more videos will help you to progress so much faster.